final AFC playoff matchup of Wildcard weekend. We've got the Steelers, who turned their season around after losing to the Cardinals and Patriots back-to-back games to make it in.
Yes, sir.
Shout
out Rudolph.
Shout out Rudolph, playing excellent.
Yes, sir.
Versus the Bills, who had a rough start and then ripped off 5 straight to win the division and get a home game.
Yeah.
Not what a whole lot of people were thinking when they were looking around week 10, 11. Everybody was saying, man, are we going to see this Bills team actually miss the playoffs instead of win the division for the 4th year in a row?
Yeah.
So this game, a little bit of a weird one. Probably will be my only no-bet game of the weekend. We've got the Bills as 10-point favorites, and that total at 36.5. So, Gage, what are your first thoughts on this?
Yeah, unlike the last game we kind of talked about with the Dolphins, who aren't really coming into the playoffs on that good of a streak, got 2 teams here playing some pretty solid football coming into this game. Steelers, like we said, who have really turned this thing around with Mason Rudolph, playing good, managing football, getting Pickens involved. Obviously didn't have any catches last week, but the 2 games before that, getting Pickens involved. Najee Harris coming back to life, running really hard, running really well. And this defense always is this Pittsburgh defense. Unfortunately, as we all know, you get the bad injury to T.J. Watt last week, which he is ruled out for this week, which is obviously an enormous blow for that Pittsburgh team. Still think they can maybe hang around here for a little bit, but obviously do think the Bills get the job done. A team coming in extremely hot, Super Bowl preseason favorites who didn't have the best beginning of the season, but are now looking kind of like what everybody was thinking. Josh Allen playing at that high level, and this the whole they're really playing complementary football. The defense has come around. They get big plays on special teams every week. It seems like they really play a solid form of football. Now they have the home field advantage. It's really going to be tough to beat these guys. I'm kind of ashamed to admit it, but I was a huge Bills guy until everybody started kind of liking the Bills, and now I'm kind of like ready for the Bills to. Maybe it was because they smacked my Cowboys. That may have helped a little bit too, but I'm kind of ready to see the Bills really get tested in a spot like this. I don't know if it comes this week, but what are your initial thoughts on this game?
So a couple different thoughts are kind of running through my mind. One, is this going to be a great year for the Bills because they had that basically 5 straight playoff games running in?
Yeah.
Did they need that versus a lot of these years they've won the division, have been a little bit easier. Of course, last year was close as well. But, they haven't been on the line for playoffs or not. They've been on the line for winning the division. So are they able to carry that momentum and keep rolling and make a deep playoff run?
Right.
The other has been, man, we talked about a lot of guys at the trade deadline. Has Rasul Douglas actually been the best pickup for these teams?
Yeah, he's been huge. But also, like you said, with that running 5 hard games in a row like that, will they end up having to, will it end up catching up on them and maybe burning them out a little bit as well?
It definitely could, and we really won't know until we see. The other thing is, I can hear us in our other videos saying, if you see a spread below 40 and you see a team getting double digits, you take the underdog because the math is in your favor.
Yeah.
And this one's just tough for me to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
I think it's because we've really seen 4 teams be able to run up a lead, and that's the Bills, Cowboys, 49ers, and Ravens.
Yeah.
So I'm always really scared taking a double digit against the Bills or a double digit against the Cowboys or Ravens or 49ers. So even in the playoffs, it kind of scares me away from that. Do you think we see, if we had to pick an over or under on the 36.5, do you think we see the over? Do you think we see the under?
Yeah, I would definitely lean over because of what you just said. You could see Buffalo in certain situations and playouts of this game scoring more than 36 points on their own. A 38-10 type victory is not out of play in a game like this, to where Buffalo is just absolutely riding an all-time high right now on a 5-game win streak, and they've got T.J. Watt missing on the other side. So it's definitely a game where you can see the Buffalo go crazy, and it's also a game where Josh Allen makes one bad play early, and then you get a 7-0 lead for Pittsburgh, and then you get a 10-0 lead for Pittsburgh with a deep play out of Mason Rudolph, who's really kind of unlocked this defense, unlocked this offense a little bit, being able to get the ball down the field. And you never really know what can happen. So 36.5 points is not a lot, especially with an explosive offense like the Bills. Obviously, I think Pittsburgh's going to struggle to score in this game. But I do think the over would be a side that I would take a little bit quicker than I would the under.
And we know Pickens is going to be hungry for an explosive play after playing that rain game and not getting the ball except on like a little end around.
Yeah.
So with that, I mean, that definitely helps out your explosive plays. And as you mentioned earlier, like we saw the special teams for the Bills step up. Really, we saw Hardy kind of win that game for them against the Dolphins last week.
Yep.
I know technically it only tied the score, but that really felt like it kind of flipped the game and got them the win last week.
And how explosive was that? I mean, my man looked like he was shot out of a cannon.
The hardest thing in football, man, is being that first guy you made miss, trying to even stay close to somebody in open field when you've sprinted down there as fast as you can just to get close. Like, you feel bad because that guy looks awful, but that is an impossible position. Yeah. And then, like you said, he hit the hole and he was gone.
Yeah, love seeing how much we're seeing out of special teams this year. Like, you know, the Cowboys-Redskins game the other day had 2 blocked kicks. The Cowboys are always so good on special teams. You know, the Niners the same way. The special teams is something that you really need to take when you're trying to cap a game. If we're getting serious about capping, we got to take that into consideration because, you know, games are swung, won, and lost, you know, on these special teams plays, and we can't overlook that by any means.
And just a teaser, we've got a little preview coming up where special teams might play a role because the Rams have missed the most kicks in the league this year.
Yes, sir. And we know how aggressive Dan Campbell is with fake punts, fake field goals, going for it on 4th down. So really something to really take in consideration when you're trying to cap these games to get on the best side.
But let us know down in the comments between this Bills-Steelers game, which awesome fan base survives another round of the playoffs. Did we get the Bills Mafia? Do we get the Steelers in their terrible towels? And if you're enjoying the content, 3 different ways to support us. Like, comment, subscribe. They all support us. They all help us know what you're engaging in and what content for us to make going forward. And once again, like, let us know maybe even who wins the whole thing, especially because I know we've got those 2 passionate fan bases playing each other.
Yes, sir. As always, thanks again, and look forward to seeing you guys around.